The most dangerous man is not the one with the most money, the most muscles, or the loudest voice. The most dangerous man is the one who stops caring what people think of him. You see, the world runs on control. Control through shame. Control through guilt. Control through the constant whisper, if you don't give enough, if you don't sacrifice enough, if you don't keep me happy, you're not a real man. But here's the truth. The moment you stop caring about their opinions, their approval, their endless demands, that is the moment you become free. I never thought I'd have to say this, but here we are. Men are not slaves. Not workhorses. Not ATMs. Not emotional punching bags. Not disposable resources to be used and discarded. Yet look around. Every single day, you bleed. You bleed money, time, energy, health. And you don't even see it because you've been programmed to think this is normal. That this is love. That this is what a real man does. Start with money. The money you wake up at 5 a.m. to earn. The money you sacrifice your dreams for. Where does it go? Not to your future. Not to your growth. Not to your empire. That dinner you can't afford but pay for anyway. Those gifts you buy, not because you want to, but because you're scared of the reaction if you don't. That lifestyle you fund while you wear the same old shoes and skip your own meals. Men everywhere are literally working themselves to death to finance someone else's comfort, while their own lives crumble. And society claps for it. Good man. Real man. Provider. But the reality? You're nothing but a battery. A resource to be drained. Then there's your time. The hours you spend trying to fix their moods. The weekends lost to drama you didn't create. The nights lying awake, wondering what you did wrong, what you could do better, how to keep the peace just one more day. And your energy? That invisible force that fuels your dreams, your ambitions, your purpose? It's being siphoned off, drop by drop, into a bottomless pit of demands that are never satisfied. Because the game isn't about satisfaction, it's about control. Here's what you need to understand. Caring too much is the most effective control mechanism ever invented. Psychology has a term for this: intermittent reinforcement. Sometimes you get affection, sometimes you get rejection. Sometimes you're praised, sometimes you're criticized. You never know which version you'll get, so you keep trying harder, giving more, hoping to get back to those good days. That's not love. That's addiction. It's the same psychological trick that keeps gamblers glued to slot machines: occasional reward, endless loss. The more you care, the more vulnerable you become. The more you chase approval, the easier it is to manipulate you. The more you sacrifice to keep the peace, the more you teach others that your boundaries don't exist. But when you stop caring, when you detach, everything changes. Detachment isn't apathy. It's clarity. It's seeing manipulation for what it is and refusing to play the game. It's recognizing that your time, your money, your energy are not infinite, and that anyone who drains them without giving back is an enemy to your future. This isn't new philosophy. History is full of proof. Machiavelli wrote over 500 years ago, "He who seeks to be loved will always be at the mercy of those who may withdraw their affection. But he who commands respect will never be abandoned." What does that mean? It means when you live for love, for validation, for acceptance, you're a prisoner. But when you build yourself so strong that you don't need any of it, you become untouchable. The Stoics said it in another way: freedom is found in detachment from what you cannot control. And what is the one thing you can never truly control? Other people's opinions. Other people's moods. Other people's loyalty. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, faced the weight of an empire on his shoulders. Yet in his private writings, he constantly reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He understood that true power comes from within. That no amount of external validation can fill the void of self-doubt. That the moment you hand control of your emotions to others, you become their slave. Here's the paradox of life: the less you care, the more powerful you become. The more you chase, the faster people run. The more you cling, the more you are disrespected. But the moment you detach, the moment you stop begging, the moment you stop explaining, apologizing, justifying, suddenly people lean in. Suddenly, they notice. Suddenly, they respect you. Why? Because not caring is rare. Not caring is strength. Not caring signals that your worth is not dependent on anyone else's approval. When you stop caring, something radical happens. First, people stop testing you, because they realize your boundaries are unshakable. The constant drama, the emotional manipulation, the guilt trips, they all lose their power when they can't get a reaction from you. Second, manipulators lose their grip, because guilt and shame no longer work on you. You've seen through the game. You know the tactics. And you refuse to participate. Third, you free up energy that you once wasted on people who never truly valued you. That energy can now be channeled into building your body, sharpening your mind, growing your wealth, creating your empire. Fourth, you finally start building yourself. Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Every hour you waste caring about what others think of you is an hour stolen from your mission. Every dollar you spend trying to buy love is a dollar stolen from your future empire. Let me tell you about two men I knew. The first was a gifted programmer. Sharp mind. Endless potential. The kind of talent that could have built his own tech empire. But he cared too much. He cared about keeping her happy. He cared about avoiding fights. He cared about making sure she didn't feel neglected. So he poured every dollar he earned into her comfort. Weekend trips. Designer clothes. Nights out he couldn't afford. He even turned down projects and extra work because she would say, "Why are you always working? Don't you love me?" Fast forward 3 years, his bank account was empty. His health was destroyed by stress. His career was stagnant. And her? She left anyway. Because here's the harsh truth. When you care too much, they stop caring at all. The second man was an engineer building a brilliant future. But he cared too much about being the good guy. He picked up every call, answered every text, dropped his own plans just to keep her happy. He worked extra hours not to invest in his own growth, but to fund her whims. And the day came when he lost his job. He thought she would stand by him. Instead, she looked him in the eye and said, "If you can't provide, what good are you?" Then she walked out the door. Years of sacrifice. Years of bleeding for her happiness. Gone in a single moment. Two men. Different lives. Same mistake. They cared too much. They cared so much that they became predictable, controllable, weak. And when men become weak, they are discarded. But here's the twist. The moment these men finally detached, the moment they stopped caring, everything changed. The programmer, once she left, used the pain as fuel. He built his own freelance business, stopped wasting money, and within 2 years, he was earning more than ever before. More importantly, he had rebuilt his self-respect. He had clear boundaries. He had learned to value his own time. The engineer, broken and betrayed, realized his worth didn't depend on her. He rebuilt, set boundaries, and for the first time in his life, invested in himself instead of someone else's comfort. He went back to the gym. He pursued projects he'd abandoned. He reconnected with friends he'd neglected. Both men came to the same ruthless realization: caring too much destroys you. Not caring sets you free. Look at powerful leaders, entrepreneurs, warriors throughout history. The common thread isn't that they cared deeply about everyone's opinion. It's that they learned to detach. To make decisions not based on guilt or approval, but on strength, logic, and vision. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. He didn't beg to come back. He didn't spend years trying to prove himself to the board. He detached, built something new, and only returned when they needed him, on his terms. Elon Musk faces constant criticism, mockery, and doubt. Does he stop to address every critic? Does he bend his vision to satisfy the masses? No. He detaches from the noise and builds what he believes in. So how do you actually practice this ruthless power of not caring? Step 1. Recognize the patterns. Start noticing when you're being manipulated. When guilt is used as a weapon. When your generosity is expected rather than appreciated. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Step 2. Set unmovable boundaries. Decide what you will and will not tolerate. Decide what you will and will not give. Then hold that line, no matter what emotional manipulation comes your way. Boundaries without enforcement are just suggestions. Step 3. Redirect your energy. All that time, money, and emotional labor you were investing in keeping others happy? Channel it back into yourself. Your health. Your skills. Your goals. Your future. Step 4. Embrace the silence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your choices. You don't need to justify your boundaries. You don't have to defend your decisions. Learn to let silence be your answer.
Step 5. Accept the consequences. Some people will leave.
Some will be angry. Some will try harder to manipulate you.
Let them.
The ones who truly value you will respect your boundaries. The ones who don't were never on your side anyway.
Step 6. Build in solitude.
The greatest empires are built in the quiet moments, away from the noise and distraction. Use your newfound freedom to create something meaningful. Something lasting. Something that's truly yours. The moment you stop caring, you become untouchable. Not because you've turned cold, not because you've lost your humanity, but because you've finally reclaimed it. Life will test you. People will try to shame you, guilt you, control you. They'll whisper in your ear that you're not good enough, not loving enough, not giving enough, unless you hand them everything. But the day you stop caring about their approval is the day you break their chains. The day you stop bleeding for others is the day you start building yourself. The day you stop chasing love is the day respect finally finds you. You see, caring is expensive. Every thought you waste on someone else's approval costs energy. Every hour you waste proving your worth costs time. Every compromise you make just to keep the peace costs pieces of your soul. Not caring doesn't mean you're cold. It means you're selective. It means you reserve your heart, your mind, and your strength for what truly deserves it. Most men live and die as slaves. Slaves to women, to bosses, to society, to the endless hunger for validation.
But a few men wake up.
A few men look at the system, see it for what it is, and choose to detach.
And those men?
They are the ones who rise. They are the ones who build empires. They are the ones who are remembered. The world doesn't reward the man who sacrifices himself endlessly. It rewards the man who builds himself ruthlessly. The greatest leaders, warriors, and creators in history were not the ones who begged for validation. They were the ones who set their own path, even if it meant being misunderstood, rejected, or hated. So here's the truth, stripped of all comfort. Either you live as a sovereign man, guided by strength, boundaries, and detachment, or you die as a slave, drained, forgotten, discarded. You can continue as you are, bleeding for people who don't appreciate you, explaining yourself to people who don't respect you, chasing people who will never truly love you. Or you can choose the harder road.
The colder road. The sovereign road. Detach. Stop caring.
Redirect that power back into yourself.
Build your body. Sharpen your mind. Grow your wealth.
Protect your energy like a king guards his throne.
Because when you do, the world changes.
Not because the world became kinder, but because you became stronger. And one day, you'll look back at this version of yourself, the man who cared too much, who bled too much, who begged too much, and you'll smile. Because that man died. And in his place, a sovereign man was born. A man who cannot be controlled. A man who cannot be broken. A man who does not care what chains they try to put on him, because he already burned them all. That, my friend, is the ultimate freedom. That is the ruthless power of not caring. And that is the beginning of your empire.
The choice is yours.
And the moment you choose not to care, you choose power.